Guys, I got a very possible, not probable, could happen, won't happen, NFL Lions draft theory.
Okay.
Everybody talking about defense.
Get out your horn.
No, I'm not. It's not something I'm going to the mat with.
All right.
I only blow that horn if I believe it's going to happen.
All right, then everyone get your clown emojis ready.
Get your clown emojis ready. Now everybody's going to get them ready anyway. But I don't think it's the worst method of building a team in my life.
Right.
If you are in love with a quarterback, if you find a quarterback you are in love with, my dream draft scenario on how to build a consistent winner year in, year out is to draft a quarterback at 6 that you are in love with. If he is there, you take him. And then at 18, you draft Bijan Robinson. So instead of defense, you go offense. You allow Jared Goff to be your starting quarterback for this year and hell, even next year if you want. And you let that quarterback develop under Ben Johnson in this system, and then you take over. So you would essentially have a quarterback on a rookie deal, Jamison Williams, your wide receiver, on a rookie deal.
Braille looks like a bobblehead
and
right
Bijan Robinson on a rookie deal, and just buy your defense. And oh, by the way, you do have 8 draft picks, by the way.
Didn't Philly just buy a defense?
And so did Cincinnati.
There you go.
I'm just saying, you have 8 picks. You're not going to use all 8 of them on offense. But if you can get your quarterback of the future, and I can't wait for you said Malik Willis at 2, my friend. You said Malik. I'm not giving you a specific quarterback.
Okay, we missed on him. We're trying for another one.
Theoretically, this is your last best chance to get the franchise quarterback of the future. Draft one at 6, take Bijan Robinson at 18, and for the next 3 to 5 years, you will have a quarterback on a rookie deal, a wide receiver on a rookie deal, and a running back on a rookie deal, and then just go nuts on your defense.
The way that I look at it is, when you watch the NFL this year, what stood out? Like, it was a bad playoffs. Waiting for the Super Bowl to be this great game. Bad playoffs. But what did you notice in the playoffs? Cincinnati, great defensive line, led by Trey Henderson. Kansas City Chiefs, Frank Clark and Chris Jones have been men amongst boys. The San Francisco 49ers, who also made the conference finals. Nick Bosa, who's going to be your defensive player of the year. And then Terry Armstead, and then Fred Warner. But it's still a defensive line, right? Then there was another team in the playoffs, the Eagles. Oh, how about that defensive line? 4 guys over double-digit sacks. Double-digit. Oh, I'm not done. The Buffalo Bills, who limped into the playoffs, their defensive line was pretty decent. You look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, their defensive line was pretty decent. And the Kansas City Chiefs, who I've already said. The Cowboys, how could I forget their defensive line? Go ahead, Ryan Ermanni.
Aiden Hutchinson, Josh Pascal, Isaiah Buggs, Aleem McNeil, James Houston.
You got a bunch of young guys that had good games against a bunch of average NFL teams. You're trying to sustain this line. This is your words. Mm-hmm. You're trying to build a structure that is sustainable for years to come. You don't know who those guys are yet as it relates to playing the Kansas City Chiefs.
Correct.
As it relates to well, we know who they are against playing the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, come on. It's the first game of the freaking year.
Doesn't matter. They played them last year. You got to get one more stud. I don't even mind. No, but you said at 6, draft a quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm still okay with your offense thing, but 6 is the only position that is off limits, Ryan Ermanni. 6 is the off-limits position. You got to get Tyree Wilson. You got to get Myles Murphy at that position.
Those guys are more guaranteed than any player that you have on their defense now.
Yes.
No.
That's my point.
Right.
I said yes. In terms of like Aiden Hutchinson. Outside of that, I mean, like James Houston looked good, but once again, like you got to look at that last 8-game schedule to the teams they played. And those offensive line. Hell, you can look at the offensive lines that they play all year long.
Listen,
I'm just saying, you got to get one more bona fide. But I'm cool with you getting the offensive 18.
What he's saying, we got all these young men there now.
Right.
All right, and we're looking for extra good seasons out of them, right? Now you add a couple of veterans on the free agency. That's what he's saying. That will turn your line. Instead of maybe taking 2 rookies that you really don't know how good they're going to be. They're not Jalen Carter.
What if you
keep saying they're not Jalen Carter? You don't have to necessarily have Jalen Carter. If you got another guy that's damn good, as good, and then you have a good coach, you coach him up the right way. You put him next to Aiden Hutchinson. They got guys in their team that I like, but you need one more bona fide stud. You got a bunch of guys that you're like, oh well, yeah, maybe, and this, that, and the third. You need another guy that you know that guy's going to be good, just like you felt about Aiden.
What if I pluck Javon Hargrave right in the middle there?
From Philly?
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. But you need another guy. How old
What
is
if I
Javon?
put Sue out there for a few games?
No, not Sue, but Hargrave.
30 years old. Prime of
In that
his
case, you're
career.
going to have to get 2 guys off that team because I want Bradbury as well.
Fine. You're going to have the money to do it.
Yeah, I want a quarterback. Like, at the end of the day, the way I was looking at the draft, I was like, shoot, Tyree is 6. You trade 18 to the Rams and get Jalen Hurts. Maybe they kick you a 5 back with that as well. And then 48, you take Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the quarterback from UCLA. But to your point, I just need that defensive lineman at 6 because I know he's a stud. Like with those other guys, there's a reason when they went 6. There's a reason they went 7. There's a reason why they went 5th. Yes, they showed that they're good, but you still don't know because of the competition they play with on that side of the ball. So Tyree Wilson, he's a monster.
I think too.
Or Miles Murphy.
Yeah, for a lot of these teams, you look at what Christian McCaffrey did for San Francisco with a frickin' 7th round quarterback. Look at Saquon Barkley, what he did for the Giants this year. With really, you can tell me all you want that Daniel Jones is a $30 million quarterback. I'll tell you, I would not pay $30 million for Daniel Jones. Maybe that's just me.
Apparently, they're about to.
Yeah, they're about to, and that's how GMs get fired.
But I think with the Daniel Jones situation, I think because he didn't pick his option up, and I think they just looked at him and said, "Look, we're not picking your option up." Like they're trying to see could he be the guy that they wanted him to be in terms of not turn the ball over, hand the ball off, and use his athleticism. If you can do that, we'll pay you Jared Goff money. And I think he did that this year, so they're going to give him Jared Goff money.
For the sake of the argument, I think what I'm trying to point out by using those 2 running backs specifically is if you have a beast like that, your quarterback can be, I don't want to say less than because I don't want to minimize anything that Jared Goff has done. Jared Goff has been really good for this team, and he's going to be the starting quarterback for the Detroit Lions in 2023. After that, I don't know. We'll take it year by year. But if you've got a beast of a running back like that, it just kind of allows you at least a little bit of a reprieve to where your quarterback doesn't have to be Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson type guy.
So if you're getting Bijan Robinson and you don't need that type of quarterback, then why draft the quarterback 6 and take Bijan? Because I like what you said, but I'm like, if you're going to draft Bijan and that's the case,
so that you don't have to pay Jared Goff $35-40 million.
But Jared's contract is up after this year anyway. So you can figure that out during the year.
I just don't think the Lions are ever going to be that bad to have a top 10 pick again. I don't think they're picking in the top 20 next year.
Right.
So this 6th pick is the last best chance to get a top flight first round quarterback.
What would it take? And Fletch, put up the Bears tweet for me. Here comes the Bears tweet. Bears picking number 1 this year.
The Chicago Bears have decided to go ahead with Justin Fields as their franchise quarterback and will try to trade the first overall pick in the 2023 draft instead of drafting a quarterback prospect. That's per Sports Illustrated now.
And that's from Albert Breer as well. Now, here's the kicker. Someone is going to trade up and get number 1.
Right.
If you love a quarterback at number 1, here's your chance. You got 2 number 1 picks, and the number 1 pick's available. Someone is going to go up. So if you love your quarterback this year, there it is for you. And it's probably not going to be the Lions. Somebody's going to go up and get him. Carolina. Remember we brought up that trade a couple weeks ago? I brought that up. If Bryce Young starts slipping a little bit, Carolina is going to be like, well, C.J. Stroud, one of them guys drops.
Yeah.
Carolina at 9 is going to say, hey, we want to move up. Maybe moving up to number 1 is too far, but moving up to number 6, where the Lions are, and then this one draft that I read to you was the Lions swapping 6 for 9, picking up a 3rd-round pick, and getting Carolina's number 1 pick next year, where Deuce Staley is right now. Deuce Staley's with Carolina. I'm just saying, there's a lot that could happen in the next few weeks. And that Bears pick at number 1 is definitely going to be available. Or do you trade for Justin Fields?
There's definitely a lot. See, that's where I thought you were going. I thought you were trying to find up a scenario to get Justin Fields. I'm like, I don't think they would give him up.
No,
I mean, you would have to
not to the division.
You would have to give them Jared Goff and 2 first-rounders, and they still probably wouldn't give him up. But by your scenario, I would much rather move back in the draft from 6 to 9 than move up in the draft from 6 to 2 or 6 to 3. I think you have to give up far too much draft capital. I think you can make it happen without moving that far up in terms of getting better this year, this offseason. So in Maz's scenario, if they start to slip, I'm okay with moving 6 to 9. Because I think even at 9, I think there's some players that you still can get. I think there's still some defensive players out there. Who knows? I mean, I've been hearing this stuff about the Northwestern tackle who plays tackle and guard, Skoranek. The Lions always maybe do something crazy. So, but definitely back 6 to 9 and not forward. Where you giving up?
This with my 8 picks, this is what I would do. With my 8 picks, honestly, I would take a quarterback, a running back, an offensive lineman, and 5 defensive players. That's what I do. Is that?
How about a kicker?
Well, if you had a 4th-round pick, I'd burn one on Moody, but I wouldn't take him in the 3rd round.
The only thing I'm scared about with that is I look at where the NFL is. Yeah, you got to have offense, but we're offensively stacked for the most part, and we still can add to what we have, bring some guys back. When you look at the defenses, the teams that are there now, they're good at defense. And you look at the Lions had good offense early on in the year, and they sucked on defense, and you lost games because of it. Down the stretch, you even lost a couple games down the stretch. You know what I'm saying? So for the defense, for me, I think, you got some picks later on. You got some 4s and 5s, and in this NFL now, players are good. There's a lot of good players. You can get some players late, but you still need some of them bona fide dogs in the top 10 on that defensive line or linebacker or secondary that you just know. You got to have those guys. Offense, but that Lions offense is set. That defense is where they're weak.